Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you ever turn to subscribe, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I did a story earlier this morning about Jeremy Brown's funeral. I gave my thoughts about it, and I talked about a lot of different things, but one thing I didn't talk about that I had thought about, and I wanted to make a separate video, is the situation with Carlisha Hood, the aftermath of all of this stuff. Now, we know that Jeremy Brown's been laid to rest, and a lot of controversy then came out of the funeral with how his family members was acting, or the people that are supporting him was acting. And it's been a lot of stuff that was said. I mean, me, for one, I've said negative things when the news first broke about this story, you know, and I've since then made a public apology video to Carlisha Hood, and I feel good about that. A lot of other YouTubers have not done that. They just left the story up. And I mean, it's a rule with YouTubers where we don't really take our videos down because it makes us look cheesy. But I mean, you know, a follow-up on a story would do well. A lot of people that first reported on this. But let me just say this. In this video right here, I want to hear from you, the audience. After all of this stuff that's happened, and she's been since cleared of charges, and more details have came out that made her less of a villain and more of a victim, do you think that she should move or relocate from her present area of existence? And the reason why I bring that up is a lot of people are dissatisfied with her not going to jail, or the charges being dropped. Both parties have families that love them. And some people feel as though they didn't get a fair shake because they feel as though Jeremy was wrong. I mean, Jeremy was right, or Jeremy didn't have to die. Or, you know how it is when crimes are committed, there's always somebody to defend somebody else with a different angle and opinion. That's normal. We human beings. That's how dialogue is done sometimes. But I want to talk. I'm going to give 4 reasons why I personally think that Carlisha Hood should relocate out of the immediate vicinity of where she's at. It doesn't have to be out of Illinois, but I would move out of Chicago if that's where she's presently at, or her present address. First thing I'm going to cite on that is, number 1, the negative publicity. We all know when this story came out, it was shocking to a lot of people, and they had the black community up here buzzing. Me as well, because I couldn't believe that if this story was supposedly said the way the media first put it out there, that a woman would put a child up to do something, you know, like that. It's impossible to even, I had to make a video on it. The negative publicity this got, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, boom, charges was dropped. New evidence has emerged that has freed Carlisha Hood and her son. Now the evidence came out, everybody was like, oh, okay. It changed everything. But now her name is a household name. People know who she is. They do. And regardless of how you feel about her, they got a picture of her car. I think in one of those videos, they said what part of town she stayed on. If people want you, they can get you. Nowadays, you see that all the time. People get the drop on people that didn't even know they was an enemy of them. The world is dangerous. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, it's a reality. We got to think safety first. That brings me to point number 2. Retaliation. For not just her, but for her son, because he pulled the trigger. Now, looking at the picture, when I seen the picture, I'm like, okay, she takes care of his boy. He's not in the street. He's close with his mother. He seemed like a good kid, like he's well taken care of. Was he wrong for shooting? I can't say he was, because I mean, if somebody attacking your mom, you're gonna do what you gotta do. Well, what you supposed to do? He had the weapon, he used it. That's it. But this video ain't about that. The video is just about protecting her child now. Because remember, he go back to school. His face has been all over the internet. People that go to school with him know him. And remember, what's the first thing? When you're on TV, whether it's good press or bad press, people start to do what? They talk. Hey, I know him. He's in my class. All it takes is get to the right person's ear. And now he's a target. And so is she, because if they find him, they'll find her. Now, I'm not saying she fighting against the mafia or nothing, but we dealing with a lot of people that don't have, a lot of people out there in the world that don't have good judgment or common sense sometimes. And there are people that are sitting around looking and wondering if they can take a pot shot at somebody because they might have been friends with the deceased or a family member. You never know what people's motives are. This is a messed up situation. It is. I mean, this is a tore up situation. That brings me to point 3. People are vindictive. People that involve themselves in something that they ain't got nothing to do with, just to say that they cared about somebody and they had to do something, or they had to ride on somebody. Not everybody can be fixed. Not everybody can be spoken to. That's why arguments don't get you nowhere. You can't force your opinion on somebody that won't even open up a little bit to even hear what you got to say. I just think it's a dangerous situation, and I hope her attorneys or somebody's talking to her like, okay, listen, you got a lot of negative press. People know who you are. It might be time to pack up and move. And this is the thing that's messed up. The whole thing is not her fault. They said this started from an argument where she was talking to the guy, and the guy was like, hey, look, my order's wrong, this and that. She's talking business with the guy. It's a transaction of money. Jeremy felt as though she was taking too long, and he intervened in it. He shouldn't have said nothing. And that's the thing, man. We got a lot of people out here that are ignorant and act like the world revolves around them and nobody else. It would have cleared itself up. It was just a discrepancy over food. Don't understand it. The simplest things make us cause bloodshed against each other. Another thing is this, and this is the final thought before I get out of here. I don't want to drag this video out. I just want to name 4 things. She escaped once. She escaped once. Being on the wrong side and having that happen to her, and she feels as though she's injustice happened to her, and she's suing them, regardless of if you think she should sue them or not. She escaped this. Sometimes a fresh start is better than just sitting there and dealing with it. Like I said, she might have PTSD from all that. You will videotape thousands, tens of thousands of people seeing you get attacked, seeing your son kill somebody in your defense, which you should have. And you're known publicly now. They locked you up. You got out by the skin of your teeth. And a lot of people debate this and that, this situation and, all of that. She's out. After all of the smoke cleared and all of the facts were presented for what they were, she should be out. And so should he. I just hope whoever's around her, giving her legal advice and all that, they're smart enough to say, hey, listen, it's not a good idea for you to just still try to go on with your normal life. You might want to consider packing up and moving. Not saying the mafia is after or something like that, but people know you. And the way we are in the age of social media now, all it takes is somebody to be like, yeah, that's that girl. And let's go over there and beat her up and get it on camera or something. It's not a good look. You got to think about the safety of your son as well as yourself. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. I just wanted to chime in, guys. Listen, leave me a comment. If you were her, would you leave? Would you up and go? Honestly. And it ain't got nothing to do with being scared or anything like that. It's not just her she has to worry about. She got a son, and he seemed like a good kid. That's just all I'm saying. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.